Over the last few years, there's been a continuing debate around how much of our medical data is online. Of course, there was the big furor around the government's opt-out of the My Health Record scheme. So where are we at now? How much of your health data is online, and where should you be concerned about your privacy? Well, to debate that, we have Tegan Jones from the technology website Gizmodo, and we have Seamus Byrne from the Biteside Podcast Network. Tegan, when you look at the healthcare category, how much information on our bodies is out in the world, what is the aspect of privacy that concerns you most?
I think what concerned me most with my health record and why I actually opted out of it is just because I wasn't entirely sure like how much was actually going to be on there and who was going to actually have access to it. Plus there was the fact that it was being rushed through so quickly that it wasn't exactly secure. So I didn't want to be putting my health records on something that could potentially be breached so easily. So that really concerned me. Another thing that I didn't like about it as well is that there was some concerns around, if you had a child and potentially an abusive partner that you were separated from, because both yourself and your former partner can have access to the health records of your child, they could potentially find you and your new address through your child's health records. So that didn't sit well with me either. And also just because it didn't have a lot at the time around the privacy of teenagers as well, and perhaps they would want to be able to see their doctor in privacy without their parents knowing, and that kind of negated that privacy for them.
Politicians in particular need to understand that the way something is designed at the start is inherently the way it should be used in the long term, right? So in this case, it was designed as an opt-in system, which meant it was for people who really had an important reason for having their health records shared. They have some kind of a chronic problem. They have something that means that if they go somewhere else, they're on holiday somewhere and suddenly they have a problem, it's like, yeah, really handy to have their records accessible anywhere, anytime. And it was designed so it was a relatively small volume system, which meant it wouldn't be that kind of a target for hacking quite so much as then when you go, oh, let's just flick the switch and now everybody's in the system that was never designed to be secure and all these kinds of other aspects of what it would mean to put 20 million people in it instead of, a few 100,000 people.
100%. And that's what really irks me about these systems as well, is that, this whole opt-out thing is becoming the norm, and it shouldn't be, because again, it's banking on complacency to get people to just be in it. It was the same with, Facebook, with, opting out of, certain things in terms of privacy. So I don't like it. I think it's wrong. And like Seamus said, it wasn't designed for scale. And when something is this important, it really needs to be. I agree. Like something where you can get all of your health records conveniently, I see how that can be good, but this is not great the way it's been set up.
I was going to say, for me, I love my health record. I think my health record is a great thing to have if you are conscious about what you are choosing to share and you have confidence. And that's the thing I take away from what you're saying. If you have confidence about exactly where the data is and you can make a conscious choice about how it can be accessed, who it can be accessed by, if you have that power and it's clearly communicated, then it's great. It's brilliant, in fact. But I think in an effort to get wide take-up, they sort of skipped all the hard bits of public communication around what can be done and what are the worst-case scenarios, and letting that be interrogated by people that were inherently cynical about it, because it should have been, because they weren't clear enough about what was actually on the table.
And you can't just put your hands up and think, but trust us. We'll sort it out in the end after the deadline for opting out. Hey, it's no big deal. And it's like, yeah, it is a big deal. And if you don't openly accept that it's a big deal, then no one's going to trust you.
It really does come down to trust. We're talking about the most personal stuff that is on you, except maybe your financial details or your life journal of emotional poetry. You can't get any more personal and more sensitive than medical
except
data.
You can connect them together when you look at MyGov, though. Like if someone's on Centrelink, then it's all together anyway.
Yeah.
And look, you can have that, that sort of connective process as well of what is the current track record of government when it comes to running good government databases. It's like Robodebt was terribly used. We had a terrible online census launch, and again, everything was always, no, trust us, we're going to sort it out. Trust it. Oh, it's going to be fine on the night and all the rest. And then it isn't. And it's like you can't just throw casual assurances at us, the fourth time and kind of hope that this time we're going to believe you.
I understand the natural bias of commentary shows like this is to point out things that are wrong, and it's good, and I'm glad that we do it. Has anyone had a really good experience interacting with government government data. Because I must say, the superannuation thing, how you get your supers to match,
Yeah.
honest to God, really quite simple and quite easy to use.
Yeah.
Are there good examples of government data out there that are worth calling out, I guess?
Mine was going to be super.
Superannuation? All right, well, that's
yeah.
fine.
No, look, I think, Service New South Wales as well.
Yeah.
They've done an amazing. They are actually considered a world leader when it comes to getting it right for being able to do efficient, effective online services that work quickly and that don't sort of, force you to jump through 50 hoops. And so, that over the last sort of, 3 or 4 years, they've sort of hit that place where actually people are now looking for best practice from New South Wales.
All right, well, there's your free kick before we go back to dystopian futures where we wear foil hats and talk about all the terrible things with government. All right, there is lots more of this in the podcast of Download This Show, and I will catch you there. See you guys.